The biggest battle of your life isn't happening in the world around you. It's not in your bank account, it's not in your career, and it's certainly not in the comment section. The real war is happening right now, inside the 6 inches between your ears. You know the feeling? It's that sudden flash of rage that hijacks your nervous system before you can even think. It's that gnawing, hollow hunger for something, a new phone, a new partner, a new distraction that promises happiness but vanishes the second you get it. It's the crippling doubt that wakes you up at 3 a.m. We like to think we are in control, but if we're honest, most of us are being piloted by invisible forces we don't understand. 5,000 years ago, on a battlefield called Kurukshetra, a warrior named Arjuna faced a similar collapse. He was paralyzed by fear and confusion, and his charioteer, Krishna, didn't give him a weapon. He gave him a map of the human psyche. He revealed that these internal disruptions aren't just random emotions. They are inner demons, specific, identifiable patterns of self-destruction. And the terrifying part? We feed them. But Krishna also gave us a strategy. He laid out a precise, tactical manual for shadow work long before psychology existed. This isn't about becoming a saint who lives in a cave. This is a survival guide for the modern mind. We are going to deconstruct the 3 gates of hell that Krishna warned about, and I'm going to show you the exact cognitive tools he prescribed to shut them down. First, we have to change how we define a demon. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna isn't talking about red-skinned monsters with horns. He's talking about vrittis, deeply grooved patterns of thought that act against your own self-interest. Think of them as malicious software running in the background of your brain, draining your battery and overheating your system. In the stories of Krishna, he fights monsters like Putana or the serpent Kaliya. These weren't just physical fights, they were allegories. Kaliya represented the toxicity of envy that poisons the water of your life. Putana represented false comforts. The Gita teaches a radical concept. You possess a dual nature. You have a divine potential, capable of immense clarity and compassion, and a demonic potential, prone to arrogance, cruelty, and ignorance. The difference between a miserable life and a liberated one isn't luck. It's about which side you are actively feeding every single day. Krishna pinpoints the root of the problem with surgical precision. He identifies 3 specific qualities that he calls the 3 gates to self-destruction. These aren't just bad habits. They are the parent code for every other misery in your life. They are kama, krodha, anger, and lobha, greed. These 3 form a chain reaction. It starts with kama, intense desire. When that desire is blocked, it mutates into krodha, anger. And when you try to secure that desire permanently, it hardens into lobha, greed. Let's break down the first gate, kama. We usually translate kama as lust, but that's too narrow. Kama is the hungry ghost syndrome. It is the obsessive, burning craving for sensory gratification. It's the dopamine loop. It's the belief that I will be happy if I get that promotion, if I get that car, if I get that person. It creates a permanent state of lacking. You are constantly living in a hypothetical future, rendering the present moment miserable. This craving clouds your intelligence like smoke covers a fire. You can't see reality. You only see what you want. Krishna's solution to kama is counterintuitive. You cannot fight desire with willpower alone. That's like trying to stop a river with your hands. You have to displace it. The antidote is contentment through gratitude. This sounds like a cliché, but neurologically, it's a weapon. Desire is a focus on lack. Gratitude is a focus on having. You cannot be in a state of wanting and a state of having at the same time. Try this. The gratitude pause. Tomorrow morning, before your feet hit the floor, freeze. Don't check your phone. Don't let the anxiety of the day rush in. Force your brain to identify 5 small, concrete things that are already yours. The air in your lungs, the roof over your head, the fact that your heart is beating without you telling it to. This isn't just positive thinking. It is a tactical reorientation of your mind. You are starving the demon of lust by cutting off its food supply, the feeling of scarcity. But what happens when your desires get blocked? That brings us to the second gate, krodha, or anger. The Gita describes anger as a fire that burns the vessel it's stored in. We've all felt it. The blood pressure spikes, the vision tunnels, and your IQ literally drops. Krishna warns that anger leads to delusion. You forget who you are. You say things you can never take back. You destroy relationships that took years to build in a matter of seconds. Anger creates a form of temporary insanity where you become convinced that you are right and the world is wrong. To conquer this, Krishna teaches the art of the witness consciousness. You need to master the gap between the trigger, someone cutting you off in traffic, and your reaction. There is a microsecond of space. Most of us live on autopilot and skip that space. We just react. The practice is to widen that gap using the breath. When you feel the heat rising in your chest, do not speak, do not act. Freeze. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4, exhale for 4. You are hacking your biology, forcing your nervous system from fight or flight back into rest and digest. In that pause, you regain your intelligence. You can then shift your perspective. You realize the person who offended you is likely fighting their own demons, acting out of their own trauma. You move from judgment to compassion. You don't suppress the anger, you transmute it into understanding. Then there is the third gate, lobha, or greed. If lust is the hunger, greed is the hoarding. It is the terrifying fear that you will never have enough security. It drives billionaires to chase the next billion, even when they have more than they could spend in 1,000 lifetimes. Greed is the ego trying to build a fortress against death. It isolates you. It convinces you that everything is mine. My house, my money, my reputation. This isolation is a prison cell. Krishna's hammer to break this prison is dana, or deliberate generosity. Greed operates on the logic of contraction, keeping things in. Generosity forces the system into expansion, letting things flow. And here is the paradox. When you give, you don't feel emptier, you feel fuller. You prove to your subconscious that you are abundant. You don't need to be rich to do this. Give your time. Give your attention. Give a kind word to a stranger. Every act of giving is a direct declaration of war against the scarcity mindset. You are training your mind to believe in flow, not in hoarding. But Krishna doesn't stop at behavior modification. He offers a master key that transcends all these techniques. He tells Arjuna that the ultimate victory comes from a shift in identity. You are suffering because you think you are the mind, you think you are the anger, you think you are the craving. Krishna reveals that you are actually the Atman, the silent, observing awareness behind the noise. Imagine your mind is the sky, and your emotions are just clouds passing through. Thunderstorms come, hurricanes blow, but the sky is never wet, never hurt, never changed. You are the sky. The tool to realize this is meditation. This isn't about relaxation. It's a laboratory experiment. When you sit and close your eyes, you are forced to confront the chaos. You will see the lust, the anger, the boredom arising. The practice isn't to stop them. The practice is to watch them without jumping on the train. You say, "Ah, here is the thought of anger," instead of "I am angry." This creates distance. This dissociation is freedom. When you realize you are the observer, the demons lose their grip. They can scream all they want, but they can no longer touch you. Finally, Krishna offers the nuclear option, bhakti, or devotion. This is the ultimate hack for the emotional brain. Fighting demons is exhausting. Willpower runs out. But love? Love is inexhaustible. Bhakti is the process of taking all that intense emotional energy, that passion, that obsession, and redirecting it toward the divine. Instead of obsessing over a person or an object, you obsess over the source of all existence. When you anchor your heart in something eternal, the temporary distractions of the world just naturally fall away. The weeds die because you have planted a massive tree that takes up all the sunlight. This battle is not easy. It is the work of a lifetime. You will stumble. You will fall back into old patterns. That is part of the process. Krishna teaches us to have infinite patience with ourselves. The fact that you are even aware of the battle means you have already begun to win. The tools are in your hands. Gratitude for lust, the pause for anger, generosity for greed, and the silent awareness of the soul for everything else. The war is within, but so is the victory.